Hello dear students, welcome back. I am Mrs. Jagruti Mahajani. I am teaching geography in BA Secondary School, Tirk Road, Pune. In the last session, we had studied about the physiographical features of India, and we had also seen about some of the physiographic features of Brazil. So in today's lecture, we are going to complete the physiographic features of Brazil, and we are going to study about the drainage pattern. So let's study these features with the help of a PPT. Okay, so dear students, in the last session, we had studied about the highlands of Brazil. We had seen how the Brazilian shield is very, very important. Then we had also studied about the Great Escarpment, which is a different physiographic feature, a very important physiographic feature in the Brazilian region. Now today we are going to study about the coasts of the Brazilian region. So like India has 7,500 kilometers of a long coastline. Similarly, in the Brazilian region also, the coastline is around 7,400 kilometers. This coastline is divided into the northern coast and the eastern coast. Now this is the northern coastline. The northern coast of Brazilian region is the North Atlantic coast, which is including the Amapá province in the north to Rio de Grande do Norte in the east. So many rivers have, along with the Amazon River, many rivers have their mouths along this Atlantic coast, North Atlantic coast. This is a very flat land. It's a low-lying region. Very important feature is this Marajo Island. Now this Marajo Island and São Marcos Bay, it is between the river Amazon and river Tocantins. So it has a very great importance. The eastern coast. There are large number of smaller rivers which drain or which enter into the eastern coast. Major river meeting the Atlantic Ocean is the São Francisco River. There are large number of beaches and sand dunes which are formed along this eastern coast. You might find there are coral reefs and atoll islands also along the eastern coast of the Brazilian region. The plains. Like India, even in the Brazilian region, there are flat, extensive plains, the Amazon plains. This lies to the northern part of Brazil. Now we all know that river Amazon drains through the northern part of the Brazil, entire northern part of the Brazil. So these plains are a part of the northern part of Brazil. They slope eastwards. The plains are sloping towards the east between the Guiana Highlands and the Brazilian Highlands. So this is the Brazilian Highland and this is the Guiana Highland are found the extensively flat lands, extensive plain areas, and that is the Amazon plains, extensive flat land. Now these plains are wide in the west. It is around 1300 kilometers, and as it slopes towards the east, the width becomes less. Where the Guiana Highlands and Brazilian Highland come closer, the Guiana Highland and the Brazilian Highland come closer, the width is just 240 kilometers. Now since this region is entirely under the Amazon forest, the Amazon River, you will find that these areas are thickly forested areas, and being thickly forested areas, they are highly inaccessible. And since river Amazon and its tributaries are draining through this region, so frequent floods always take place, and there is dense undergrowth, there is dense vegetation which is found. So these plains are covered by the tropical rainforest. Now students, you have already studied different types of forests, different types of natural vegetation. So here along the equatorial area, since there is high rainfall, definitely thick vegetation is found, and thus in this plain area, because the river Amazon and its tributaries are draining, because there is high rainfall region, so there is frequent flooding and the region is thickly forested. It is also highly inaccessible. The Paraguay-Parana Plains. Another plain region is the Paraguay-Parana Plain region. So this is located to the southwest part of the Brazilian region. Now we know that Parana and Paraguay, these are two rivers which are draining through this plain region. The Parana Paraguay or Paraguay Parana Plain is the source region of Paraguay, which slopes towards the south. So these two rivers, they have source in this particular region, plain region, and they slope towards the south. So this is the source region of the Parana slopes, which slopes towards the southwest. Pantanal. Now this region is again an extensive region which is the largest wetlands in the world. Now this lies towards the southwest of the Brazilian highland. It lies towards the southwest. This is having swamps and marshes. This particular Pantanal region is highly swampy area and marshes are found. So thus it's the largest wetland in the world. Mato Grosso do Sul, Bolivia and Paraguay. So this particular region is under the Pantanal region. This is also a flat land, a plain area. Now coming to the island groups or islands, especially in the Brazilian region. So these islands are either the coastal islands or they are the marine islands. Coastal islands are formed due to the deposition. So here in this northern side you will find, since the river Amazon and its tributaries are draining, hundreds of tributaries are draining and they are bringing lots of deposition, and these coastal islands have been formed because of the deposition. There are certain marine islands also which are a part of the mainland. More than 300 kilometers away, you will find that from the mainland, more than 300 kilometers away, you will find these marine islands. These islands are mostly rocky, the tops of the submerged mountains. So this is the speciality of these islands. They are mostly rocky, and the tops, they are the tops of the submerged mountains. The coast at South Atlantic region. Now this particular is the coral islands. So you will find many coral reefs, atolls in this South Atlantic region. Now coming to the second part of the chapter, that is the drainage. Now when we say drainage is the river system of an area. So in this particular image, you can see that there is a source region, there is a confluence. Confluence means where the rivers and its tributaries meet, another tributaries join, and then it enters through the mouth, it enters into the sea or the ocean. So all together, this particular region is called as the drainage system. So small streams join together and they form a river. So there is a source where that stream forms. Two different streams meet together and they form a river. Main rivers are joined by its tributaries. So with the help of two streams, a river is formed. When two different rivers meet together, or they are called as the tributaries. So the place where the two rivers meet is called as the confluence, joining together. Now these rivers and its tributaries, they drain into a large water body such as the lake or the sea or an ocean. So the place where the river enters into the sea or the lake or the ocean is called as the mouth of the river. The area drained by a single river system, so that becomes the river system. So this single river system, the area which is drained by it, is called as the drainage basin. Now let's study about the drainage of Brazil. Now here you can see there are so many rivers, so many blue color water bodies which are shown. So the Amazon River is one of the major rivers flowing in the Brazilian region. Now this Amazon, you can see it is joined by so many tributaries from different regions, and thus this entire area is becoming a very huge drainage basin. So when we talk about drainage of Brazil, there are three major drainage basins. One is the Amazon River Basin, drained by river Amazon and its tributaries. The Paraná-Paraguay River System or Paraguay-Paraná River System. And the third one is the São Francisco River System. Let us study one by one. Okay, so the Amazon basin. Now here you can see, again in this image you can see this entire northern region. You will find it is drained by river Amazon and its tributaries. There are hundreds of tributaries of river Amazon. Now directly the river Amazon doesn't originate. The river stream originates from the eastern slopes of the Andes mountain in Peru. Now this river Amazon, has the huge discharge. It is the largest river. It is the largest river having largest drainage basin and huge discharge of about 2 lakh meter cube per second. So just imagine, so many tributaries are joining the river and that much of water is being added to the river Amazon, and then it enters into the Atlantic Ocean. Now the river Amazon washes off the load from the catchment areas and deposits. These sediments are thus not deposited even at the mouth because so many rivers are joined together. So all the deposition goes into the Atlantic Ocean. There is a dense network of distributaries at the mouth of the river because there is so much of deposition that the rivers, they distribute themselves. The tributaries, they distribute themselves, and thus distributaries are found at the mouth of the river Amazon. You will find series of islands developed along the mouth. So because of the deposition of the sediments, you will find that there are series of islands which are developed along the mouth. At the mouth, the width of the channel here, it is 150 kilometers. So it's a very wide channel, wide mouth of river Amazon. Most of the course of the Amazon River is suitable for the navigation. So many of the rivers, many of the tributaries, they are used for navigation. Coming to the second type of drainage system is the Paraguay-Paraná drainage system. The Paraguay-Paraná drainage system. Now this is located in the southwestern part of Brazil. This forms the catchment of river Plata in the Argentina. Paraguay, Paraná, Uruguay, they collect headwaters from the southern portion of the highlands. So Paraguay River, Paraná River and Uruguay, they all collect the water from the southern portion of the highland, and then they drain into Argentina. The third important river system is the São Francisco. This is the third important river. The entire basin is within Brazil. So this is the river São Francisco, which has the entire basin in the Brazilian region. The eastern portion is lying on the highlands. This river flows towards the north for about 1000 meters, and then it takes a sharp turn to enter into the coastal strip along the Atlantic Ocean. This river is navigable for a distance of about 250 kilometers downstream. So towards the north it moves, and then it takes a sharp turn and enters into the Atlantic Ocean. There are, along with these rivers, there are some coastal rivers. Now these are short rivers. There are number of short coastal rivers. The coastal areas are densely populated, and thus the rivers have attained a great significance. River Paraíba, River Itaperacu, flowing northwards, meet the North Atlantic Ocean. Rivers entering into the South Atlantic Ocean collect headwaters along the escarpment. River Paraguaçu enters Atlantic Ocean near the Salvador town. So these areas have got a great significance. Now coming to the drainage of India. Now this is classified, the drainage of India is classified according to the source region. So one drainage system is the Himalayan drainage system. Another drainage system is the peninsular drainage system. The Himalayan drainage system. This originates from the various glaciers which are present. So the Himalayan rivers, they originate from various glaciers, and these rivers are perennial in nature. What do you mean by perennial? Perennial means the rivers have water throughout the year. So the Himalayan rivers, they are perennial because they get water from the melting of the glaciers in the summers, and also these rivers get water because of the monsoon rainfall. So thus the Himalayan rivers are termed as the perennial rivers. Now when we talk about Himalayan rivers, there are two major systems in the Himalayan drainage system. One is the river Indus and another is the river Ganga. The Indus river system, Indus and its tributaries. So here in this image you can see there are so many tributaries, major tributaries of river Indus. So river Indus is joined by Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Bias and Satluj. So these are the major tributaries of Indus which drain the western Himalayas and flow through Jammu and Kashmir. Now these tributaries are almost parallel to each other. River Satluj is the major tributary of river Indus, which originates near Lake Mansarovar and flows westwards. So the plains of Punjab have been formed by the depositional work of this river and its tributaries. Now they flow towards Pakistan and meet the Arabian Sea. So river system flows through Indus and its tributaries. They flow towards the west and join the Arabian Sea. Another important river system is the Ganga river system. Now river Ganga originates from the glacier Gangotri, which crosses the Himalayas and flow east. So this is the path of the river. Many tributaries join river Ganga. Yamuna is originating at Yamunotri and it is one of the major tributaries of river Ganga. Another major tributary of river Ganga is Sangpo. So this is a major tributary which flows through the northern part of the greater Himalayas. Then it takes a sharp turn, crosses the Himalayas and come into India, where in Arunachal Pradesh it is called as river Dihang. So in Arunachal Pradesh, Sangpo is called as river Dihang. Then it flows eastwards and come across Assam, where it is known as river Brahmaputra. So Sangpo comes into India through Arunachal Pradesh, where it is known as Dihang. Then it flows through Assam, where it is known as Brahmaputra, and then Brahmaputra meets river Ganga, where a huge delta has been formed. So a huge delta takes place, large delta is formed, which is called as the Sundarbans. Number of tributaries from the peninsula like the Chambal, Ken, Betwa, Shon, Damodar, these also join river Ganga. So these are the tributaries from the peninsular region. Now coming to the peninsular river system. The Himalayan river system is a perennial river system, but the rivers in the peninsula are non-perennial because most of the rivers are dependent on the monsoon rains. Now these rivers are again divided into two parts. One is the east flowing rivers, which joins the Bay of Bengal, and another river system is the west flowing river meeting at Arabian Sea. So here in this particular region, western coastal plains, there are western ghats which act as a major water divide. So these rivers are seasonal in nature or they are non-perennial in nature. These rivers are rain-fed. So they don't face with the problem of floods like the Himalayan rivers they face many a times. The rivers on the peninsular area are short in length, but they are very, very swift. So states of Kerala, Karnataka, Maharashtra and southern Gujarat are drained by the west flowing rivers. Rivers meeting the Bay of Bengal or the east flowing rivers. Now rivers like Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri, these are the major rivers which flow into Bay of Bengal or empty themselves into Bay of Bengal. Now here in the northeastern part you will find a huge basin, Mahanadi basin has been formed. Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri originate in the eastern slopes of the Western Ghats. So along the eastern slopes of the Western Ghats, Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri rivers, they originate and then they flow towards the east and empty themselves in Bay of Bengal. River Godavari is the second largest river in terms of its catchment area. River Krishna to the south of Godavari is one of the major rivers. So this is river Godavari. River Krishna lies to the south of river Godavari, again which is a very important river in the Indian peninsular region. Major tributaries are Bhima and Tungabhadra. So the river Krishna has its tributaries Bhima and Tungabhadra. These are joined and the river Kaveri basin flows through Karnataka and Tamil Nadu and then enters into Bay of Bengal. It is one of the major rivers of the peninsula. Now this river is used for irrigation since a very, very long time. So in short, all the rivers which are there on the peninsular region, they are having very great significance. Rivers meeting the Arabian Sea or the west flowing rivers. They flow into the Gulf of Khambhat. Tapi and Narmada. So this is river Tapi, this is river Narmada. These two are the major rivers along with Mahi and Sabarmati. So these four rivers, they are draining and they enter into the Arabian Sea along the western coast of the Indian subcontinent. Tapi and Narmada, they flow through the rift valleys. Mahi river flows from northeast to southwest. So northeast to southwest and enter into Arabian Sea. River Sabarmati is originating at the southern slopes of the Aravalli ranges. So along the southern slopes of the Aravalli ranges, the Sabarmati river originates and enters into Arabian Sea. It flows north-south direction. River Luni, it also originates along the western slopes of Aravalli ranges. This river flows northeast to southwest, entering into the Gulf of Kutch and ultimately enters into the Arabian Sea. So here we have studied a lot about the various drainage systems of India, drainage systems found in the Brazilian highland. Thank you. So dear students, in today's session, we had studied about the physiographic features of Brazil, and then we had studied about the drainage pattern, drainage system of India and Brazil. Hope you have enjoyed the session. Thank you.